Hello, my name is Mrs. Robert Marty Struthers, and this is my story about my sister having polio. I was 14 years old at the time of the event and lived in a very small town in Nebraska. Hildreth was the name of it. I remember my parents sitting at our kitchen table discussing whether she should receive the polio vaccine. It was one of the initial opportunities to take it. She was one of the first to receive a vaccine, and we weren't even considered then at the time, my brother and myself, who were younger. They did decide to give it to her, to give the vaccine to her, give permission. I remember subsequently waking up in the middle of the night, and we were in the same room. She had an intense headache, just extreme headache. And my parents immediately, the next morning, took her to this small town, Minden, to our very capable doctors at the time. And I remember her receiving a spinal tap by these doctors. I went into the room and he told me to quickly leave because it might be something highly contagious. I remember that so distinctly. It was polio, and they do believe that it was caused at this time by the vaccine. None of us around her who were with her prior to this did have polio after this. She spent 3 weeks in Mary Lanning Hospital in Hastings. We were not allowed to see her. We could only look at her through a window because it was so highly contagious. And it was extremely frightening for parents and everybody because of paralysis. And there was such a thing then as an iron lung eventually, which is a horrendous machine to keep you alive. Only your head with rubber around it would be shown and so forth. In her case, she did not have any paralysis as a result of it and was allowed to come home after 3 weeks, although she was extremely weak. It affected her muscles, her body. She could hardly walk. I remember that. I believe she did, I believe, have what they believe was a post-polio syndrome, which is something after 40. Many people who had polio seem to have extreme tiredness and lethargy, this sort of thing. And we possibly believe, she believes she may have that, the post-polio syndrome. And this is my story about her having polio.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else?
No, I can't think of anything else except that it was extremely frightening.
I'm sure.
And she had worn someone's jacket at it was in our church, a youth group, and someone had given her a jacket, and we had to wash it and leave it out in the sun for days because they felt that would eliminate the possibility of the virus and so forth.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing with us today.
You're welcome.
All right.